Hello, this is Kim with Crocheting with Kim. I am so happy to be back. We're going to continue on the progress of our bunny rabbit for the Easter holiday. I hope that you're enjoying this, and let's just get right to it. Now, we had stopped on row 12 going down from the right side of our work. We're getting ready to go back up to from the wrong side, and we're going to start with one periwinkle. As I stated in the beginning of the very first video, I am using the H hook 8 or 5 millimeter. I'm using acrylic yarn from Hobby Lobby, periwinkle. I have this gray mist. I have white, and I have pink for all the colors, and I do have black, and it's here with me, but I'm not quite ready for it yet. But I do have black. I love this yarn. I really do love this yarn from Hobby Lobby, and I hope that you find it okay. But you can use any color. This is all 100% acrylic. And let's just go ahead and get started. So I will go ahead and chain my 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I am doing half double crochet, and we're gonna go to that third chain from the hook, wrap around the yarn or yarn over. We're going to go into the second chain from the hook and pull through all 3, yarn over, and pull this yarn through. Have 3 hoops on the hook, and pull through all 3 for your double half crochet. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our white, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we'll need 8 white blocks, making sure that on the wrong side of your work you want to put the work behind. When you have the wrong side facing you, you want to have the yarn on that side as well. When you're going down, makes it a little easier for you to work. Again, I'm going to move this yarn down a little bit so that white does not get tangled up. And we're going to go ahead and continue on with our white. We'll slip stitch, kind of tug on that periwinkle a little bit, and we'll chain 2, and then we'll have our second double half crochet, our third half double crochet, and our fourth half double crochet. And then we'll go ahead and continue until we have 8 white blocks, and making sure that we slip stitch in each new block. Slip stitch, chain 2, 1, 2, and we'll have our second half double crochet, our third half double crochet, and our fourth half double crochet. And we'll go ahead to our 4th block, and we'll continue on with our pattern until we have 8 white blocks. And this is just so much fun. I love watching this come together. I get excited, especially when I get further along or at least halfway through the project. It is just so delightful for me. It's like watching the old Polaroid picture. You remember the Polaroid pictures where you had to put the cartridge in the camera, and then when you had to have flash bulbs, and when you take the picture, you have to wait until it comes out of the camera. Once it comes out of the camera, you have to wait until it comes into focus. So it takes it a minute for it to develop itself. And it's the same thing with watching these projects come to life, so to speak. And it's just an exciting thing for me. I just love it. Boy, Polaroid pictures hadn't been around. I remember when my dad tried to take a camera to a place and asked if they were making any film for that anymore. And he told him, he said, "Oh, that film is so old. They don't even make film. I mean, that camera's so old, they don't even make film for that anymore." And my dad was kind of insulted behind that, but you know, if they didn't make the film anymore or the film anymore, they just didn't make it anymore. So anyway, we're going to go ahead. I finished my 8, and now we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have 4 more blocks of the periwinkle. So we're on this other end, and so this is our first half double crochet. That chain 2 counts as my first half double crochet, and this is my 4th one. And let's get this gray out of the way a little bit here. He wants to get into the picture. And now I think I'm going to go ahead and snip that off. Now that I have a couple of rows in, I can just snip it off until I'm ready for the gray again. And this is my 2nd periwinkle. This is my 3rd block that I'm working on. And we'll have that 3rd block completed in slip stitch, chain 2. We'll yarn over, pull through all 3, yarn over, pull through and pull through all 3, yarn over, pull through and pull through all 3. So that will end or complete row 13. And again, if you ever want to check yourself, you can, and we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So we have 13 blocks. So let me go ahead and let me snip this gray. I'll leave a little tail there. That way it doesn't continue to get wrapped up in the other yarn until I'm ready to use it again. So now we are going to start with row 14. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need 5 periwinkles. So we'll go ahead and we'll make our chain of 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you're doing chain of 6, that is fine to do double crochet instead of a half double crochet. That is perfectly okay. And just remember to count back to your 3rd. And when you do 6 chains, you will count back to the 4th stitch or the 4th chain to do your double crochet. Okay. And then we'll do our next block. We'll get that started. And then we'll have our 3rd block. And we'll complete that one. Then we'll have our 4th block. And it's just the same pattern. It's just, you know, you just keep going with your pattern, whether you're doing double stitch, a double half stitch, even a single stitch. If you choose to do single stitch, you can't do single stitches with it. A little bit more trickier, a little bit more tighter, but it can be done. Pretty awesome. So we'll have that 5th block. So we have our 5. Now we'll go back and we'll look at the pattern, leaving the work behind because we're on the right side of our work. So we'll leave it behind the work. Okay. Then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll have 8 white blocks. So we're going to do our 8 white blocks. We do our slip stitch. Go ahead and pick up that white yarn and just proceed. Slip stitch, chain 2, and if you're doing double crochet, slip stitch and chain 3 to equivalent to double crochet. And we'll go ahead and work our 8 white blocks and go forward. Go ahead and toss that to the side so it doesn't get tangled up in the work. And this is our 3rd block. And then I'm going to just tuck that right underneath there so it doesn't get tangled up. It's a lot of moving parts when you're trying to keep your work from getting tangled, but in the end it'll be far worth it because you don't get frustrated with your work and you know it tangles and it's just a headache. And I've had that happen where it was just a headache. My children laughed at me and I didn't think it was too funny, so I had to learn how to laugh with it and just keep it moving. But after the finished project, it was worth it. Especially when I did a parakeet. Oh my goodness, and it's so colorful. So many different colors, and oh my gosh, I had yarn all messed up. But at the end, the result, it was beautiful. So we're going to go ahead here and we're going to continue. That's 2, 4, 6, and we need 2 more. Slip stitch, chain 2, and then we'll go ahead and put additional 3 half double crochet. If you're doing double crochet, you chain 3 and continue on with your double crochets. And then 1 more. And we're almost finished with this. Now, and then we're finished with that white. Remember to keep that working yarn behind the work on the right side of your work. We're working on the right side. And we have 1 periwinkle. So we'll go ahead and work that periwinkle. 2, and then we'll do our last of our half double crochet or double crochet if you're doing chain 3. And there we go. We finished row 14. So it's coming together quite nicely. All right. So now we're on row 15. We need 1 periwinkle. So we'll go ahead and chain our 5 if you're doing half double crochet, 6 if you're doing double crochet. Count back to the 3rd chain on the half double crochet, the 4th chain on the double crochet. So half double crochet, the 3rd chain back, double crochet, the 4th chain back, if you're counting 6 chains. So there's our very first peri block of the periwinkle. Now we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we need 9 white blocks. I'm gonna put my pen over there. Maybe it'll be a lot easier for me. So what we're going to do, we're going to get the periwinkle out of the white center here. And why don't I move my white this way, and then move my periwinkle, if I remember, to move this way. So it'll be a lot easier for me, and I get myself all tangled up. So we'll move that behind. So now we're going to pull the working strand behind the work or in front of us, towards us, because we're on the wrong side. Odd number is the wrong side. The even numbers is the right side of your work. So we'll go ahead and do our white blocks. So this is our first. And as we are growing, it's going to be so pretty to see it all just come together. I've been crocheting ever since I was 7 years old. My dad bought me some, it was like Mexicano, I think it was called, yarn from Red Heart, and a G hook. And I'll never forget, it was a green hook. And he told me, he said, hey, do something with this. In other words, because I was the only girl, I think, on the block. So my dad was very funny about me being outside with nothing but boys. So he gave me things to do that will keep me busy and give me something to work towards. He bought me books. He bought me everything that I need to learn how to crochet. And it took me a little while, but before he passed away, he was able to see some of the things that I was able to do, and he was quite impressed, to say the least. I had made my granddaughters some sundresses, and he was really, really impressed at what I learned and had accomplished to do. So I've been doing this for quite over 40 years, but I just learned how to do other things. I didn't want to just be stuck with just making blankets. I wanted to do other things, so I start researching and looking and seeing what I can learn how to do, and it's been amazing, I will say. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, and we need one more. Yeah, because I was boy crazy, and he did not want me outside with the boys. He was like, no, I'm going to find you something else to do. So he had me work on finding what my crafts were, what I like to do, from painting, whatever. He just wanted me to find my craft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 5. We need 5 periwinkles to finish out this row. Remember to put your work in front of you on the wrong side, so your working yarn will be all on one side. Whether you're working on the wrong side or the right side, it will always be on that wrong side of your work. So we'll go ahead and finish up this row. This is my second. This is my third block. And this is my fourth block. Remember, slip stitch, chain 2 for a double half crochet, and chain 3 for a double crochet. Half double crochet, I'm sorry if I said that incorrectly. And then we're working on the last block. And this is the completion of row 15. And I am going to take a look at my work, and everything is corresponding with the pattern quite nicely. We're getting into the furry parts of it. So we're on row 16, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I counted too many, 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 periwinkles that we need going back down. So, let me twist it the other way. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to go into that third stitch for the half double crochet, and on the double crochet it's the fourth stitch if you're counting up 6. And we're going to go ahead and do our 6 blocks. Second block, and we'll keep going here working out our pattern. And then I think we should be coming up, if not this row, I think it's the next row where we'll be adding the gray back in. So we'll go ahead and do our 6. And this is our 5th one. And then our 6th one. So we have our 6. We'll keep going. We'll pull this work behind, and I'm just going to move this down because I know I'm getting ready to work with the white yarn, making sure that my yarn is on the back of the work because I'm working on the right side of the work. And the other side of the yarn is gonna pull this out and pull that over to the side. Now we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we are needing 9 white blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we'll go ahead and slip stitch, chain 2 for half double crochet, chain 3 for a double crochet if you're doing a double crochet. And we'll go ahead and do our 9 blocks. I'm getting excited because I'm watching it slowly develop. actually working on the bottom half of the bunny's body. And sometimes usually these particular projects can last, I mean not last, but it can take anywhere between 4 and 5 hours. Sometimes I have known myself to work these projects in a day. I just wanted to take my time and do this video with everyone, so it's not a rush job. This is something that I just enjoy doing. But I will cook, I will do laundry, I will do all that, and plus I also work a full-time job, so it usually may take me 2 days, possibly 3, depending on how busy I am, to complete a project like this. But technically it can be about 4 or 5 hours. It can be done or completed in a day, but it's no rush. I just love working with projects like this, and I hope that you are enjoying it as well. So we have 2, 4, 6. We're going to work on 8 right here, and pull that through there, and then our 9th one, and we'll go ahead and complete this. And as you are becoming more familiar with, you'll know that the next block, one block left, would be your periwinkle. And we'll go ahead and do the one block here. Go ahead and pull that through, kind of pull snug a little bit on the white, kind of lock that in a little bit, tighten it, and we'll go ahead and finish out row 16. So we have row 16 completed. Now going the wrong way here, and pull that through, and there we go. So now we finish row 16. So row 17, we'll have 2 periwinkle. So we'll go ahead and do our chain 5 and go into that third chain and do our very first half double crochet, our second half double crochet, and our third. I always call it splitting hairs when the yarn splits up on me, or the threading. So that's our first one. And then I'm going to move the work over to my right here. And we'll go ahead and do our second periwinkle. Do a slip stitch, chain 2 or 3, depending on what stitch you're working on. And then we'll have the 2 periwinkle. Now we'll make sure that the work is on the wrong side of the project so we don't get that tangled up. Now we're going to do 1 gray. Now, to keep everything place that underneath there. We'll bring the periwinkle this way and we'll have this gray. Now what I like to do, because I'm working with another color, I will use the previous color because I know I'm gonna have to use the white again. I'll just bring it up and over the hook. I will take the gray and place it over as well and work over both the working white yarn as well as some of the gray. Sometimes I have a hard time with it working for me because I need to bring it in the back of the work in order to not show through the project. So hopefully, successfully, I have done that. And I should have all 4 of my half double crochet. And it should not interfere, the white should not interfere with my project, and it has not. So I did it correctly. And then I will make sure I bring the gray on the back of my work. And then I will see how many white blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need 8 white blocks. I'll go ahead and pull this work on through. And the white yarn is available for me because I worked over the white yarn under the gray, and it's available for me so I can just continue. I don't have to cut anything. That is the reasons why I work like that. So this is my first white block. This is my second white block. So we see the periwinkle is bouncing around. So we'll just move that over a little bit. And then here's my third. My third, my fourth white block, my fifth, and my sixth, and my seventh. I change my 2. Yes, we're gonna have that. And then here we go. Last one. Let me do a double crochet. I don't want a double, I want a half double. Okay. And then go ahead and we'll look. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we should have the 6 blocks left to do with our periwinkle. pull that a little bit. And then we are going to go ahead and let this be our, let's see here, end of the project for today. Giving you, oh, all right. Well, I think I have a little bit more time. I thought I didn't have enough time to do. But we'll go ahead and continue on with the project. I thought I was running out of time. I tried to keep in sequence because I do know that those that are working with me and helping me with this project, with video and everything, everyone has their time, and they're taking time out to help me, and I really do appreciate it. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and keep it moving. It's like, so we'll go ahead and finish up this row. And we have completed. Now I'm just going to go ahead and chain my 5. And then I'm going to go ahead and just start this, and then I'm going to count and see what we need. I'll just change it so my work has already been, that next row has already been increased, because each time we count up or create chains, we are actually increasing as we go along. So we are on row 18, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we need 6 periwinkle. So we'll go ahead and do our 6, slip stitch, count 2 for half double crochet, 3 if you're doing crochet, double crochet, I'm sorry. And we'll go ahead, this is my 3rd block. And this is 4. And we have 5. And then we'll have our number 6. Number 6 is right here. And we'll go ahead and count that. So we've completed that part of it with a 6. Now, if we look at, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we have 10. And I actually put the number 10 in that box. I pre-did this so I can have like my my sketch already completed, but it's okay. But we have 10 blocks, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to make sure that the white yarn does not get tangled up in the gray and the periwinkle. So we'll move that out to the side there. Move that to the back. And again, you can always create your own yarn balls, where you can do a, let's just say like a ball as big as a baseball, or even a softball if you think that you need that. And you can just break it down into balls of each color. That way you don't have to worry about using this skein necessarily, but you can use the yarn ball in its place, and then that way you can go ahead and just go with your work. You've already have them counted out and available for you. The only problem is with me and using that technique, I need to keep the balls from crisscrossing each other, which was hilarious. Again, my children laughed at me, but you know, you learn as you do the work what works best for you. And I just found that keeping the yarn kind of loose and not wrapping it up in a ball, you can kind of just move the string along the side from left to right, like I have with the other side of the periwinkle, with the other side using the periwinkle, that I can just move it from left to right and it's not in my way and it won't get tangled up with the rest of the work. So it's all in how you want to work it. But it's amazing how you learn as you go what works for you, what doesn't work for you, how you want to do this and how you want to do that. You just want to work with what makes you comfortable. As a crocheter, I used to knit too. I have to really get back into knitting. Knitting has come a long way. Yeah, I used to knit too. I had knitting needles, and I knitted a few blankets growing up as well, from the same skein of yarn, because I wasn't perfected at that time, or I didn't have much knowledge of yarn and stuff and how it worked and what will work and what didn't work. I didn't have that skill set. But the more I worked with it, the better that I was getting at it, but I didn't perfect it. So now that I've completed 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, now I have 2 periwinkle that I need to add on to the end of this. So as we look here, we have 1 and 2. So I'll go ahead and put those 2. Here's 1. And then there is 2. And there is the completion of row 18. So as you can see, it's coming along really, really nicely. Now we're getting ready to start row 19. And we have 2 periwinkle. So they'll count out the 5. So we have this is our first block right here. Then we'll turn this work, making sure that the work is in behind the project. Then we'll have the second periwinkle. And that is beginning of row 19. Put this out to the side here. Now we are going to have one white block. So we're going to interject this white. Let me do this first. There we go. Okay, that white is off to the side. And we'll go ahead and pull that through. Chain 2 and half double crochet to finish that one white block. Now we're going to do gray again. I can take and snip some of this gray right here, and then again I am going to work the white right along with this gray yarn as I add on. Leaving a little bit of a tail here so I can work it through, and I will work over the white yarn so I won't have to cut it to use the white yarn again. So we'll do our second, our third, and our fourth half double crochet, and kind of snug on the gray and snug on the white, and then there we go. We'll pull the gray to the back of the work, and there's our white to continue on. Then we'll have, so we have that one gray, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need 8 white blocks. So we'll go ahead and do a white block. So we'll have the first one here. Second. Then there's a third. Then we'll do our third block. And here we go. Fourth. And fifth. And we're just working that same pattern of either double half crochet or double crochet under the post of the previous row. And we'll keep moving until we have the block. So we have 6 already, and then we need 2 more. We have number 7. Then we have number 8. Number 8. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8. Now we will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we need 7 periwinkle. So let's go ahead and we're going to move this under our work here and put it over here. That way it doesn't tangle up with everything else. Pull that off to the side. And here we go. Let's start our very first block. And periwinkle. And then here's number 2. And then we have our third one, a slip stitch, chain 2. And I love this color. I didn't realize that I had chosen the right color for the background because I thought I would have to go a little lighter or a shade darker. And actually it's perfect for this. I didn't realize how close it was to the actual color, which makes me happy because that makes me feel like, okay, I do have a little bit of color coordination, because sometimes I always get it a shade darker or a shade lighter and never get it like right on the spot, even though I go ahead and use it and it still turns out pretty good, but I don't know. So this is our last block for this row. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to start it out. 3, 4, 5. So when I turn my work, we can go ahead and count and see how many periwinkles we need, or whatever color that you use for your background color. All right. So make sure we put our color or our working yarn in the back of our work, because we are working on the right side of our work now. Now we are on row 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And in case you're asking why am I doing the arrows, the reason why I'm doing the arrows, so we know which way the project is going. We know which way the project is going, and we know that if we're counting going down, we're on the right side of our work, and if we are going upward, we're on the wrong side of our work. It took me a little time to figure that out, but I did figure it out along the way after doing several different projects. I said, oh, this is how this works. And I had to also learn where to put my working yarn as well, in order to keep it from getting out of order or tangled or whatever it is that it was doing, to put the working yarn on the right side as you're working. That way is like one color is on one side and the other color is on the other side. All of them are on the same side of the work. So it just helped me out a lot as I was working through different projects. And one of these days, I'll have to share some of the projects that I did complete with Corner to Corner, and some of the very big projects, but I was so proud of how it turned out. So we have on 6, so we need one more to have 7 periwinkles, or with the color that you use for your background. And then we're going to check out and see what the next color is. The next color is the white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So I need 11 white stitches, or 11 white blocks, I should say. So this is trying to mangle, and I try to catch it before it gets out of hand. So I'll go ahead and pull this white on through, set it on top of the work, that way it doesn't get any more entangled than it should. So we'll go ahead and get that started. And we need 11 white blocks. So we'll go ahead and continue on with our pattern. And then we are going to do this as a completed second part once we get through to the end of this. And we'll probably end up with maybe 5 parts to this, but it gives you time to go back, maybe if you've made an error somewhere or miscalculate, or it didn't quite come out right. It'll give you that moment to really go back and review. I try not to do this too fast because it can get a little confusing, but that's why I use bigger squares. If you've seen some of the other graphs that I have worked with, smaller squares, you will be ready to pull out probably your hair at that point, because I did get a little frustrated, but I kept working at it and the project worked out pretty good. If it wasn't perfect, it was a good thing, because it was my own design at that point. It wasn't the design that I was trying to follow, but a design that I created. And I have had a couple of projects where it did come out like that, but nevertheless, it did work out just fine. So we're getting ready to head towards the end here. And we're working through the gray again. And that's why it's so essential to count each block, because you can confuse yourself. And I had to learn not to think. In other words, I had to not think beyond the graph. I had to follow the graph and not try to be smarter than the graph. And that's sometimes hard to do, because you think it's one way and then it's not. It's something totally different. You'd be like, oh man, I messed up. So we have the 11. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 white. Now we're going to finish up with the periwinkle, and we have 2 periwinkles left. we'll go ahead and work those two, and then we can take us a little breather from the project in case you need to go cook or go just do whatever, relax, maybe watch some TV, spend time with the family. uh, we have time to do all of that, and it is important to spend quality time, even if it's just with yourself, that quality time to decompress from the day or whatever you may want to call it. And then we can call this a completed or part two of the work to show how far that we have come. As you can see, it's come a long way, and it's quite a bit of the work. We have just completed row 20, so that's pretty good for two parts, and we still got a little ways to go, but the decreasing is actually a lot faster than the increasing, as you will find out. But until then, I hope that you're enjoying this project. I am enjoying working this project, and I hope that you come to our next video so we can possibly finish up the increasing side of the project and begin decreasing. But until then, this is Kim with Crocheting with Kim. You have a great day. Bye.